And she's been fighting for unborn children's right to be born and our elders' right to live and pass on their wisdom. It's a hard job that requires funding for the office, travel, training, speaking events, flyers, and you name it. So if you haven't already donated, she has a little box at the table. I urge you to give and keep this chairman and champion for life in the fight. Melissa.
All right, so Joanna, I think I'm going to bring you with me every time. I like that. So welcome to our building. Nevada Right to Life has the office right next door, and we have been trying to work with as many groups as possible because so many of us have the same goals, right? And so I would like to, it's been a couple of months, or actually it's been probably over a year since I've spoken to the Republican Assembly. So I wanted to just give you a little bit of idea of what we've been doing since last we met. First of all, the last time I saw you, I was asking you all to go out and get signatures for the Protect Our Girls initiative. And as you recall, we filed that in March. It was actually March 13th of 2020. And on March 14th, we had the last fundraiser the state of Nevada saw in 2020, which thankfully we got under the wire. The next day, the governor shut everything down. And so, as you can well expect, it was a tough lift to get 125,000 signatures. We did very well. We got tens of thousands. We identified over 1,000 volunteers who believed that, just like you and I, believed that an underage girl, a girl as young as 8 or 9 years old, should never get an abortion without at least one parent knowing. And in the state of Nevada, that has always been the case. Girls can get abortions without a parent knowing, let alone consenting. And so we reached out. We had over 100 events at churches and organizations like this, Republican Federation meetings, and we made a great network. And we found some great volunteers, like Darla, who was responsible for a lot of the signatures that we got. Unfortunately, we came up short, but we were able to help elect 5 solid pro-life assembly people. And not just the I'm pro-life and then, you know, kick you in the stomach once they get in office, but 5 pro-life people who are willing to go and sit in those meetings and advocate for life from conception to natural death. 5 in the Assembly, 1 in the Senate, and by golly, we're going to do a heck of a lot better in this next election. So I'm pretty excited because we were able to do some things. We were able to stop assisted suicide because of those 5 people. We had 2 bills that were offered for us. One was for parental notification for underage girls seeking an abortion, and one was requiring that an ultrasound be showed to a girl prior to getting an abortion. We think a woman should know, simply. Let's see, so we had some successes, but as we all know, the election brought many disappointments, and a lot of them happened in Carson City, and I know there's probably other people who will talk about it, but just real quickly, our 2 bills never got a hearing, because although we had some good solid pro-lifers, we didn't have enough. That means we all have to work harder next time. That horrible election bill passed. Horrible. And a lot of people come up to me and say, why does a pro-lifer care? Well, a pro-lifer cares. We all care. Because if we want to protect babies, we've got to have butts in the seat that are going to offer bills, that are going to vote for bills, and that are going to advocate for the unborn, the medically vulnerable, and the elderly. So we got to do our job. SJR 11 was passed. It sadly had a whole lot of Republicans voting for it.
In name only.
In name only. Let's send those people maybe home. I don't know. I didn't say that, did I?
Some were turned out.
Some are turned out. And so what did SJR 11 do? It encouraged Congress to ratify a treaty from the 1970s that it called the CEDAW Treaty, that our imperialistic progressives in the United States used to encourage brown and black people all over the world to abort their babies. I think that's wrong. SJR 8, this is the thing that just makes me crazy, and I'm going to mention this in a minute as well, that on the next ballot we will have a constitutional amendment for a state equal rights amendment. Equal rights sounds like a great idea, doesn't it?
No.
Right, you're right. It's not a great idea because there are differences between us on whether it's sexes, whether it's gender identity or gender expression. This Equal Rights Amendment will be used to eliminate every single, and we don't have very many, abortion regulation that we have in this state. It will be used to open up girls' sports to biological boys who choose to identify as girls. It will do a lot of things that are really bad. And it's never really had a hearing. It's never really had the public testify on it. So that's going to be on the ballot, and we're going to be fighting that. So what are we going to be doing in the future? Well, we're going to ramp up the parental notification, the Protect Our Girls initiative. We're gonna start that in January. Right now, we're reaching out to organizations like you guys. We're starting our church outreach, and we're just starting a lot of other outreaches across the state. We need to get 135,000 signatures this time. I think we can do it because the churches are open again. Everything's open again, and people were excited about this. In fact, we did some polling and found out that 66.7% of Nevadans are in favor of parental consent, a much higher standard. That means a parent has to say it's okay. Over 72% say notification is a great idea. So we're going to be doing that, and then while doing that, we are going to be trying to find good candidates and educating them, helping them out. And then the last thing is we will be working hard to defeat SJR 8, the Equal Rights Amendment ballot question. We need your help. We need your help. I hope you've signed our email outreach so that we can keep you posted on what we're doing. We also have a newsletter over there. And with that, I'm going to let it go because there are a lot more interesting speakers on the agenda tonight. But so thank you for being here, for listening to me and for coming out tonight. And it's good to see people again, isn't it?
Hey, thank you very much, Melissa. Do we have any questions for her at this point? Raise your hand. Okay, Joanna?